Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on the Ubuntu channel today, the Saturday, and we have come back live for my point of view. Remember, this is a program that comes to you every Saturday, and we discuss the trending top stories, news top stories in the week, and we let you have your voice and also share what you think about those same stories. Now, my name is Lawrence Lungu, hosting this program today, sitting for Chaza, your usual host, who is not with us because he is unwell, and we wish him a quick recovery. But so much go on. I'm not alone in the studio. I have Wumkiabai, as usual, helping us digest some of the stories, and also with CJ, who is in the background. Wumkiabai, good evening, and thank you so much for being part of the program this evening.
Thank you so much, Lawrence, and just want to wish our brother who is unwell, Chaza, that quick recovery. And good to see you guys. Good to see you, CJ, and good to see you, Lawrence. Just hope that we are ready for the program tonight. Twarumba.
CJ, good evening, and welcome to the program.
Evening, Lawrence. Good evening, viewers. Always a pleasure to be on Ubuntu channel, and today, point of view particularly. Looking forward to an exciting time as we look at the trending stories.
Right, let's get into it and let's check out the first story that we're looking at and see us on the other side. Also remember, you can comment on the stories right on the whichever social media platform you're watching us from, and we are able to see your comments live and direct, and we shall be able to read them out and analyze what you're saying and probably also share our views on that. So let's get into it, and the first story up next. See you on the other side.
There's a lot of bullying actually.
Other pupils have shared similar sentiments. The bullying behavior among pupils has prompted Education Minister Douglas Siakalima to visit the school.
There was a riot in the University of Zambia recently. Where were they coming from? They're coming from secondary schools. So it means that they will carry the same behavior into universities. We're not going to allow that. You know, when you live like 0304, you still find that one or two pupils are moving about. Instead of going to the toilet, they will stray, wanting to harass one or two.
After engaging the school management, Mr. Siakalima later addressed the pupils.
Doesn't matter where you come from. Don't call yourself you come from Ngombe compound or whatever. There's no compound around your head. You only have your brain. That's all. And this is why we are paying for you. We are giving grants to the schools. We are paying for your teachers in order for you to bring your brain here. That's all. Not your body muscles and whatever. No.
Daniel Kukenga, who represented other pupils, assured the minister of a change in their behavior.
Honorable Minister, much appreciation from the board of David Kaunda students, and we promise that truly you will see change, and in your heart, it will move from disappointment to jubilation.
In the meantime, the school management has since been directed to take appropriate action against indisciplined pupils.
So welcome back, and that is the first story that we are looking at. We are looking at this evening, and obviously it has everything to do with discipline in the schools. You can come in and share with us what you think on that on that particular story.
I think, Mr. Siakalima, thank you so much, Lawrence. I think what Siakalima was very, he was there really as a parent I think he had forgotten that he went there as a minister. From his demeanor and the way he was coming out to the pupil, I believe he was like, he was in the shoes of being a parent. And I could hear a typical parent, Zambian parent, out of the minister coming out so strongly, warning the kids who are bullying other kids. Because we know, yes, there's bullying is not it's not actually legal, allowed in any learning institution. And if there are kids that have some issues, that are problems, mostly those that bully other people, you find that they have some situations, but that should not be an excuse or allowing them to bully others. So I think the minister was very right, and that the children there or the pupils are there to learn and not to show their masculine or to intimidate those that are of either weaker or that are not able to stand for themselves. Nobody is allowed to bully any other person. This bully issue, it's a worldwide issue that everyone, wherever you go, you are not allowed to demean or look at somebody in a very different way or discriminate on and intimidate others. No, you are not. If you find yourself to be one of the people that are standing, that is on the hilltop, bullying others, then you are in a wrong country or a wrong school, and you are in a wrong generation, because this generation does not allow bullying. Bullying is a thing of the past, and everyone in the world, including the movie stars, they condemn bullying in schools. It is everywhere on social medias, and you know the consequences once you are found. These days, children in school, some of them have cameras. They will record you bullying other kids, and you won't have any evidence whatsoever. You will go viral, and it will affect you for the rest of your life. That everywhere you go, even that education you are attending, will mean nothing once you are labeled a bully. You cannot acquire, you cannot have a job, you cannot be interviewed by anyone because they know who you are. It is easy to catch a bully, and it's easy to to blacklist a bully. So if you have issues to do with talking to others, I think it is important that you, as a pupil, you talk to your parents so that you can seek help. And parents also should have a huge, huge role in helping to curb this bullying system in schools, the misbehavior, where children are misbehaving and doing and intimidate others or look down on others or discriminate others just because. So we want parents to step in. It is not just a duty of a teacher. No, it is both teachers and parents, especially parents, because you are the owners of those children. So you know the character, the type of children that you have as parents. So it is important that you raise children in a good way, in a good manner. If they misbehave, you find an alternative punishment to give to your kids. While not beating, of course, we are not allowed to beat the kids, but you can simply talk to them and tell them, educate them about the consequences and the ramifications of bullying others. So in a nutshell, that's what I can say, that the minister was correct, and the school, we applaud the school for having come out there without hiding anything. Thank you.
Okay, we have a situation whereby sometimes parents know the kind of children they have, and they are sent to places like boarding schools so that probably they can be controlled from there by other people. I think it's a trend that is growing, especially amongst parents back here in Zambia, where they feel where they are really not up to scratch with their child. They feel other people can come in and fix that problem for them. And sometimes it works on the contrary, where you find that these children actually go to boarding schools and just confuse other children.
Yeah, but the schools, they know nobody. They don't tolerate any nonsense. The schools have also rules, and that's why they have discipline, their code of conduct, where if a child acts differently and does not conform to the rules and does not follow what is written down, or they lay down procedures and rules of the school, these are kids that you find they are either excommunicated, they are expelled from school, suspended. So this is the wake-up call. Of course, the school does not just expel. Once the incident happens, they do try to work on things and to try to mitigate the situation. But if it is out of hand and the child seems to be uncontrollable and seem to be out of their touch, the school will have no choice but to simply terminate the contract by sending the child back to their parents. Now it is up to the parents now to find ways of how to help that child, because most of the children that you see are angry at they're angry at themselves, and they blame themselves because of what they have passed through, mostly at their parents' places. They are either being abused, and then they go and dish out that kind of abusive to their colleagues. And to them, in their mind, it's normal because they see it happening at home, where the father is abusing the mother, or the mother is abusing the father. Mostly it's the other way around. And there's no peace in home. And mostly the children they work like sponge. They suck all the negative energy, all that into themselves. And when they go out, they just dish out all that negativity to other children. And then you find that other children suffer at the hand of the bullies. And this is why you find that most bullies, if you are to investigate properly, you will find that you will learn that those children are coming from either broken homes, or they have some issues, either some condition in themselves that needs either medical attention or that needs professional help. So it is also important as teachers that not to just let go or ignore such signs. So when you see signs of these conditions in a child that is not working or behaving normal, it is important that parents are informed. The teachers should take up appropriate action by helping out the child. It's not that those children do it because they do it for the sake of just doing it. No, there's always something that is triggering them to do what they're doing. Mostly it's a home background. So it is important that the teachers also try to communicate and find solutions to help that children. And the government also can provide some kind of intervention as well in mitigating this, by providing institutions like where rehabs, where psychologists are coming and to help out the children, because sometimes we over dramatized certain conditions in children. So instead of us listening, paying attention, we over dramatize and we think it's the fault of a child, it's because of where it comes from. No, sometimes that child is a cry for help, need help. Thank you.
remember, this is my point of view on Ubuntu channel, and we are really excited that you are watching on. Now, remember, you can always also air your views and your voices on the stories that are showing in the background, and we want to hear what you also think. That's why the program is called My Point of View. Now, remember, also follow and share this broadcast. We really appreciate your viewership. So let's see if the next story is actually ready, so that we can check out what it says and we can have reactions after that. See you on the other side. Once again.
He has a long life ahead of him, but a health complication is hindering him from enjoying his childhood. Emmanuel Mwamba has had a problem with his intestines from the time he was born. This complication has resulted into this boy passing waste from his urinary system. I visited the patient, and his mother narrated how it has been difficult to look after him.
Kusunda baima problemu nga alefu okusunda alalira sana la kwata peni ero nomba pa kusunda peni kula fuma kwati mafina kwa fume ile fuma kwati femina foot kwati mafina fya fume fya yellow ni fya fume fya white foot again kula sam kufume file fuma kwati busa ali fili ali fya fuma ifya green kwati ni diarrhea fili ya green limo ya fuma kwati ni diarrhea ya yellow fili.
She now wants well wishers to come on board and assist her child.
Bwafuilisho ninga fwaya kuchina demo ko bati bangafuilisha ko mwana kumubombera ko bwangu nga kuti bangafuilisha ko kumufunya mabwene ine problemu ya ko bati aleti tiro busali bule fumina kubwaume na ine ishiwe mena na yena sana.
As for the boy, he narrated how painful his ordeal is.
Okusoka bwaume kurakalika.
Ninshi chitikakukalipa shani?
Kurakalipa kwa tifiga penso.
Ngamule chitenji.
Ngamule sonda.
Msenga Malimba, ZMBC News.
Welcome back. This story actually is being aired on humanitarian grounds, and obviously we can see young Emmanuel there with the challenges that he's going through when it comes to the complications that he has now. As Ubuntu channel, we really sympathize with Emmanuel and the parents, of course, and we are airing this story so that we can actually get as much attention as possible. Willing can be able to help. Please come in.
Thank you so much. It's a side development of a child with a condition that is quite, it's a medical condition that needs help. So I think it is important that that cry for help should actually be attended to by our by every well-wisher, since we are a Christian nation. Here is a child that is crying for help. We need to come in and help as a country. Let us help that young boy, Emmanuel Mwamba. I will invoke, or rather call the Bamashinaba Mwana. Stop politicking. Listen to that child. I am calling upon you, Mwamba, Emmanuel Mwamba, former ambassador, to step in and help your machina. That little boy needs help. You know, instead of politicking, we want to see you coming in and step in and help that little boy that needs medical attention. We have politicized Bafula. We are spending money on things that are not even necessary, propaganda. But that child needs a second chance in life. He was born with a condition that needs medical attention. So please, I'm asking you, the politicians, to come out and help. Stop throwing money. Twale mona indalama mwale posa muma ama ndalama mwale star pledge pama convention, you know, pama parties mwale China. But this is the time where you need to come out and seriously and help that little boy. That boy needs our help as a nation, you know, instead of politicizing and busy demeaning other people. This is where we need to show our true value of Christianity. Not you kulanda fetu na Kristu tulima Kristu, but if it we don't see you as helping anybody that is in need of help. That boy and the mother, you can tell that they're talking from experience, and I mean from non-experience in terms of medical advice. So this is where you guys step in. We know we have doctors Mujajati on social media and other many medical practitioners. This is where you need to step up and save that little boy's life. So we are appealing to you, the government, and to you well-wishers, the private sectors, and everyone, especially Mama politicians, please step in. We want to see tomorrow that child is helped. If nothing happens, please keep in touch. Let us know, then we can step in. Thank you.
Indeed, that is the way to go. We really hope that this message can reach as many as possible. So those who are able to help can come through and contact Emmanuel and see how they can be of assistance. Now, let's move on to the third story. I'm not sure if the story is ready, but if the story is ready, please let's move on.
A marathon session that has lasted a week. The special valedictory ceremony has marked the climax of the commemoration of the Supreme Court's Golden Jubilee that began on September 20. The valedictory ceremony is a first session for deceased eminent members of the legal fraternity. At the occasion, Chief Justice Muba Malila praised retired and deceased judges for their contribution to the independence of the judiciary.
As we reflect upon the 5 decades of the Supreme Court's existence, we are filled with a profound sense of pride and gratitude. Since its establishment in 1973, the Supreme Court has been a steadfast pillar of our constitutional democracy, a guardian of the rule of law, and a beacon of hope for all those who seek justice. Its journey has been one marked by unwavering commitment to upholding justice.
Meanwhile, Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha called for the simplification of court rules and procedures as one of the reforms to enhance access to justice.
As the world facing numerous challenges, including political, economic, and social uncertainties, the Supreme Court of Zambia must remain a beacon of hope and a symbol of trust for our citizens.
On the other hand, Police Service Commissioner John T. called on Zambians not to discriminate against people living with albinism like himself.
People with albinism are humans, they are Zambians, they are Africans, and they should enjoy their rights on equal basis with others.
The commemoration of the Supreme Court's Golden Jubilee has been held under the theme empowering the next generation of justice leaders. Hanok Kasama, NBC News.
Well, Before the introduction of the constitutional court a few years ago, this was actually the only court that we knew of that would settle almost everything. The last court of appeal, as we can say. CJ, what memories do you have of this particular court?
Yeah, so
okay, we seem to have lost CJ again. I'll bring you in here. Many things used to happen, and many issues used to happen in the country, and could only be settled in the Supreme Court. What do you remember about this court?
Well, that's the Supreme Court. That's the final court of the land, the last resort, and that any decision made in that court, that's the final, and it stands, and it can actually become a law or a precedent that can be used, that overrides on every courts below. And so the Constitution is clear, and that's our court of law. And it has been in existence for so many years. The Constitutional Court came in, is a new baby introduced through the new Constitution, and that court will be discussing matters bordering on the Constitution. And if you have any issue, so the Constitutional Court came as a backup to help or to offload some workload on the on the Supreme Court. So otherwise, it is good to see that we are celebrating the jubilee of that court of being in existence for so many years, and we've enjoyed so many decisions that have come from the Supreme Court, which we are still using, and we have noticed that there has been peace in the country. And the Supreme Court also played a very pivotal role in maintaining law and order and peace and tranquility in our country, because Zambians are law-abiding citizens. There are few individuals that breaks the law, and they know, and they don't get away with anything. They get found guilty and they are sentenced, and the judges are very strict on that one, especially when it comes to dispensation of justice. The only thing I want to appeal to the judiciary, especially the Supreme Court and both the Constitutional Court, is the cases, the period that these cases take when they are in the Supreme Court, and the procedures are quite complicated. There's so many rules that are a little bit complicated. So that's why we are asking for the justice system in Zambia, that many people have not accessed that proper justice, because even when they are given punishments, they don't feel that they've already, even when you commit a crime, for example, today, one individual commits a crime today, 20 years later, that's when that person is thrown in jail. Meaning you have forgotten about even why you are being punished in the first place, because the cases tend to take so long. There's a lot of there's a lot of procedures that is so complicated that only the enlightened people can access that justice. But for those that are ordinary Zambians, they really, really struggle to understand the role of the Supreme Court and the role of the constitutional courts. It's the procedures, matters, they tend to take so long, and we don't know why it's been complicated like that, when it should have been an easy way, because most of these cases that goes to the Supreme Court, they are cases that have already been heard, and the cases that you don't have to start from the scratch. The cases that have already been heard, they go there as an appeal, meaning all the records have taken place. But this problem of prolonging cases, you have said yourselves, justice delayed is justice denied. We may celebrate the existence of the Supreme Court, but there's so many injustices that took place in Zambia, where many Zambians have suffered injustice because the justice that ought to have been applied at the time of the crime or at the time of the situation has really taken longer than expected, and it even is stopped to mean its meaning. So you find it's a little bit catchy-22. We need the justice system that is going to expedite most of the cases, especially the cases of corruption, because some of the cases, I can give an example of the previous case where the former MMD ministers were convicted after barely 20 years, you know. So to me, that is really justice delayed, and they don't even know, they don't even understand their crime anymore, because they feel that they're being politically persecuted, when it is not, but it's just in the court system. So I would suggest that the court system should now come up with cases that we should give a lifespan of the cases. That if the lawyers, they're coming up with the dilly-dallying method, they should simply drop the case and dismiss it with or without prejudice, so that we bring more other cases in between than making cases delay so they can make kangono lawyers, and at the same time the part to the suit or the suspects, they forget even the punishment, the crime they committed, because it has taken too long. So it is important that we give lifespan to cases, that every case that is commenced in a Supreme Court should have 14 days, like they do to these electoral petitions, electoral cases, these elections petition. You give it specific period. So basically, that's what I want to say. In all the cases, we need specification period, that within 14 days, if this case is not disposed of, then sorry, we just need to dismiss the case and throw it out. It should not just be politics cases bordering on political grounds, but it should be on all cases, so that our judges and our justices should also be put to work, because they get good money. After all, so they need to be put to work with their justice, so that we don't delay justice. That's my cry, and that's my appeal to the judiciary, especially to the Chief Justice and the government. Ndarumbaga Patrick.
All right. I think one of the things that always come to mind with the Supreme Court is the fact that they have managed to uphold peace and justice for all these years, and that is a court that we have always looked up to, and they have really saved 50 years well deserved. We actually wish who has worked in the judiciary, especially in the Supreme Court there, for all the work that they have put in, and we hope that many more people can come in and still come and see what this particular court is doing for the country. Many more years for this particular court, and we wish you the best as you continue to uphold justice in the country. Now, let's go on to our final story, and then we will meet you on the other side.
Stop hiding behind the veil of attending church, behind the veil of attending traditional ceremonies, and jogging around and meeting people who are stage managed. We want him to come out in the open, come back to politics and stop being on taxpayers' expense. Let him come back to politics so that he can be removed on the payroll of the taxpayers of government.
Yes, Lawrence, I think you have been thrown out by the usual network. But just to go ahead, just to respond to the minister, the current minister, the new minister, by the way, of information, really, that job fits him very well. I would simply say that I think the gentleman, the minister, is very right, that the former president, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, seemed to have been using this tactics method of where he is busy mobilizing or busy staging. People are being invited to go and run or jog with him. And then when you see him coming out into public, he goes and utter the sentiments that he's busy uttering are quite political in nature, where that deserve or desires responses from either the government itself and those in his opposition. So it is important that this gentleman, our former president, should make it official than hiding behind what the minister said. Go behind the churches and use the church as the shield that this person is busy, not involved in politics. We cannot stop Edgar Lungu from going to church. That's the other thing. We know we are in a Christian nation. So, Mr. Ex-President, you are entitled to go to church. But you don't go to church and attract attention as if you are now going for a rally. Because what we see is the cameras are all over you. Even when you are jogging, you attract many of your people coming. So meaning some people are being informed, being announced. Today, at this particular time, we have a president that is coming, is going for a jog. We need you, the comedians, you need this and this, this and this, come forward and be part of then we take a picture, we show that our president is too popular. So to us, when we see that this is a staged activity. You know, you don't announce when you go to do some training. You don't announce that now it is time for you have to look into the issues of security. You know, if you are the head of state, that's why we have provided, the state has provided you with the bodyguards, state security. Now, if you go on and start announcing wherever the president is exercising himself from, wherever the president is, the former president is going to church to, you risk, if Zambia was a very terrible country where people are being assassinated everywhere, you were going to be a victim, you see. But that is why the government just look into it to say, look, how do we protect this state asset? Because Mr. Lungu, you are a state asset. That's why we are paying you money, our taxpayers' money, to protect the secrecy, the information that you have about the state secrets. You know too much. You cannot be allowed to to risk your life on the road like that. Zambia is surrounded by so many enemies. There are people that mean well, and there are those that do not mean well. Now, if you keep on announcing, every time you go on jogging, your people publish it on Facebook. you are weakening your security system. You are weakening yourself. That's why, Mr. President, Edgar Lungu, former president, that's why people even broke into your house at one point and stole your own televisions set. It's because of the manner in which you are busy exposing yourself, or the people around you, they are exposing you to danger. One, you cannot travel at any time before you make arrangements. So I think it is important to put politics aside and look at the welfare, your security welfare. We Zambians are paying you money to be secured, and we are giving you all those beneficial, the benefits that you are supposed to get when you are not involved in politics. And now to see you flashing symbols, busy gathering people around everywhere you go, then we are asking questions, Mr. Former President. Are you involved in politics, or you are busy exercising? And do you have to announce, does the office of the ex-president announce, are they obligated to announce the whereabouts of the former president? What president get lessons from the CIAs from the United States of America over the ex-president? Sometimes we don't even know that President Obama is even traveling to other countries, because it's something that is so secret. It is done by the state, that because he is an asset, he knows too much. We cannot let you, Volungu, be on a loose. Someone will give you to Jiri or Jamason. You start revealing secrets. So we are very careful. We don't want you to start divulging secret information about our country to anybody, especially my opposition leaders from other countries, like, we don't want to mention their names, but we know. So we want you to be very, very careful. We are taking good care of you. That's why we have not even stripped you of your immunity. Your immunity is still intact. And that's why we are not making sure that you are on a loose, that you can go and garavant anywhere. So please, jogging, you can jog. Nobody's stopping you from jogging. It is your right as a human being. But at the same time, you are not a normal human being. You are a very special human being to us. That was a head of state that we are paying for, and that we have provided security. We have police officers that are around you 24/7. There's a reason why we have those officers 24/7 on you. So it is imperative, President Volungu, to please adhere to the rules of the game. And if you don't want, just come out like Cornelius Mwetwa said, just come out in an open, so that we know that, Volungu is back to politics. Then we can debate our issues on the ground. That having said, I think that's what I can say for now, to say, Volungu, amukute mwine mwando, amuyakwa gym, don't announce, go to the gym alone. You can also, you have the money. You can have the gym in your own house. You have a big farm. You can jog around the same farm. You don't need to announce. King, you want that?
He's staying in a house, a residential area. He's not staying in the farm. And Zesco is telling us, save electricity, avoid the treadmill, and you jog. That's what Zesco has told us.
Yes, he can go and jog, but he doesn't have to announce. We want to be surprised one day to see the president physically fit. Not every day with
defense. He doesn't announce. People just meet him jogging and they join him.
No. No, that is not true. They cannot just meet him just like that. No, those are driven to the area. If anything, probably he requests for those people to come. Bring my people so I can have, because he has to consent as well, you know. So his security is at risk. He can be assassinated. You never know. He can be injured. At the end of the day, to come back to the government and say, hey, the government did not provide proper security to the former head of state. They will start blaming the government. So that president is an asset to us, you know. Even though we bash him around, we call him names, we do all kinds of things, he is a state property that we have to look after. He's our, others they call him father of the nation. Yes, and he's the only surviving, maybe that's why we have not even removed his immunity, because we want to protect and preserve, you know, him from not undergoing through a lot of atrocities, because na heart disease na kufenta kwa mene ofenta wangati fail. So we have to protect him at all costs. That let him be protected, let him be at home. If he wants to jog, yes, he can go ahead and jog. We are not stopping him, but he should not announce where now he attracts the public. And once he do that, then he risks his security. He's compromising his security, his safety. He will be at risk. So he has to be protected at all costs. So, and in my church, nama statements amene bakungo issuing, do not use unga situation that you created as a scapegoat or as now a reason to start campaigning. This issue is going to come to an end, because we have the man.
Once again, I think once again, we're being unfair on the big man. He has nothing to do with the middle issue. He has completely nothing to do with it.
He has a lot to do with the middle issue, I promise you. You see, that's the problem with us Zambians. We behave as though we have memory, we have short memory problem. You know, I will tell you one thing.
Currently, as we are speaking right now, the prices of fuel have gone up starting tomorrow. So
if we had enough money in the coffers, Lawrence, however, if we had enough money, if our money was not stolen or abused, if we have enough money, resources in our coffers, I promise you we were going to have a cushion. We are going to have something to cushion all these challenges, all these international challenges, just like the way we did it in 2008, when there was a world financial crisis. We had money. We never felt it because we had our reserves. So if somebody cleaned up all the reserves, and then 2 years down the line, you want to praise him and condemn that this government has everything to do with all these economical challenges today. He is the reason why we are in this economical crisis. 10 years of reckless destroying everything, and today, 2 years down the line, and you want to say it's HH that has brought all this. You need to be honest to yourselves. Be honest to yourselves. Don't lie. Don't forget. Let us not behave as though we have this special disease of, I don't want to go there because I wanted to even say to Alzheimer. No, we have a short memory, and we think right now that everything that we see now is as the result of this current government that has mismanaged the economy. We are forgetting where we are coming from. The economy has not been rising up. The economy was going diving, nose diving. Now, these guys, we should even feel sorry for this current government for having inherited an economy that was so in a shithole, that for them to bring it out from there, to put it up there, they are suffering. That's why they're spending sleepless nights. And every Zambian is forgotten about that. You want to start pointing a finger. Bring him back. You will see for yourself. You should thank when you see someone who has a heart to serve the Zambian people, who has a heart to even jump on a commercial jet, instead of a luxury that costs billions of kwachas.
but he jumps on a pandeke, commercial jets in deck, like any other person. Is this your president, an African president for that matter? Who does that? So we should be thankful for the kind of president that we have today. And he's a millionaire, by the way. He can afford a luxury jet within a second like that. But do we see him doing that? No. Why? Because he has a heart for the Zambian people. Unless he changes tomorrow, then we'll get rid of him. But for now, we should be thankful and grateful that these thieves are still running around. They haven't been caged yet. Mwilalava mweveka bachalo, mwilalava. Ubungo bu bukabwela. Tukamonofyo mkalalanda futi. You know, let's work together and bring this problem of meal price down. It will come down. I promise you. Zambia has solutions. We'll find solutions to that. But bringing back the people that put us in this mess will not help Zambians. If anything, we are stabbing ourselves in the back. So anyway, let me end here. Pick up there.
This is where we come to the end of our program. Again, this is Lawrence sitting in for Chaza, and on behalf of Vonke Labai, who was running us through the stories, CJ, who is controlling this broadcast, and everybody else who is involved in this production, we are saying good night and see you next week. Same time, same place.